Hi, all, and welcome back. Last week I told you this series isn't really about sailing, and it certainly isn't about boats. The boat is just a question disguised as an object, a question we've all asked ourselves at one time or another, and probably quite often as we age. What do I really want? At first, the answer seems obvious: a bigger house, a nicer car, perhaps a Ferrari, a luxury watch, perhaps a Rolex, a promotion, a boat. But if we keep asking why, something interesting begins to happen. Why do I want the bigger house? Why do I want the promotion? Why do I want the boat? Eventually, we stop talking about things and we start talking about feelings and emotions, freedom, peace of mind, adventure, belonging, time. Perhaps that's what we've been looking for all along. The problem isn't that we want beautiful things. I appreciate beautiful things. They can enrich our lives. After all, that's why I bought my baby grand. I love playing it. And even when I'm not, I enjoy seeing it every time I walk into the room. The problem begins when we believe the feeling is stored inside the object, that somehow the house contains peace, the watch contains success, the car contains happiness, or the boat contains freedom. Sometimes we even spend years chasing dreams that were never entirely our own. Some were quietly suggested by advertising, some by our friends, some by our parents, and more often than not, some by people we wanted to impress. I've spent decades chasing some dreams that turned out not to be mine, and I suspect I'm not alone. One of the most difficult questions we can ask ourselves isn't, what do I want? It's, who taught me to want it? And just as importantly, is that what I still want today? There's nothing wrong with buying a Ferrari if you love driving it. Nothing wrong with owning a beautiful sailboat if sailing with the wind has been your dream for years. Nothing wrong with living in a small apartment overlooking a marina if that's where you feel most alive. And nothing wrong with buying a baby grand if you love playing the piano. The object isn't the problem. The reason is. Because life has a remarkable way of turning miracles into maintenance. The new car smell eventually fades and it needs servicing. The dream house needs repairs. The promotion comes with meetings and long hours at the office. The boat still needs anti-fouling. That's not failure. That's life. The extraordinary slowly becomes ordinary. Psychologists even have a name for it: the hedonic treadmill. We adapt, which is why I no longer think the boat is the dream. The dream is waking up in a quiet anchorage, coffee in hand, no schedule, no need to hurry to be anywhere in particular. Crystal clear water inviting me for a swim. A small fishing village waiting to be explored. A sunset that doesn't care whether anyone else is watching. And a sky so full of stars that for a moment the rest of the world disappears. The boat is simply one way of getting there. Just as a bicycle, a camper van, a mountain cabin, or even a small apartment overlooking the sea might be someone else's path. Different vehicles, same destination. Not financial wealth alone, but a life rich in experiences. Not a life defined by status, not a life defined by applause, a life defined by choice. your choice. The freedom to spend our time in ways that are truly our own. Because in the end, it never was about the boat. So, who taught you to want what you think you want? And is it still your dream? I hope to see you next Monday. In the meantime, fair winds.